What's going on, lovely painting industry? It's Aiden Smith and Joel Mercado with the Paint Your Path podcast, the #1 podcast for painting entrepreneurs and contractors in the U.S., Canada, wherever you're at.
100.
My man Joel Mercado is back.
What is going on, brother? I missed you, man.
Missed you. Had a good week?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. We're just in the grind again. You know how that goes.
Yeah, no, totally get that, man. Like this year, I know everybody's like pounded by a snowstorm, but
Yeah,
it's crazy. While
dude.
everyone was going through that, which I don't miss at all, being in a more warm state, we were just wrapping up a historic job out here locally,
Okay.
and it was a lot of learning lessons. Right, it's one of those. But I took a leap of faith based on everything I knew, my background, and we actually we'll get into this, but we made decent margins, but it felt like it was a grind. So
really,
it's just like, you know, it's you're back in it, right? New year, you're trying to hit goals and stuff and get everything going, and then you get a job that kind of slows you down. You're like, damn, I'm stuck in mode with this, but I'm trying to get everything else going.
Yeah. Oh man, so was it an interior or exterior?
Exterior.
So and you said historic, so I'm sure you had a lot of things going on. Was that the one that I saw online where you're reglazing the windows?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
man. That's
So,
process right there, dude.
I have one crew that I use for like these particular jobs. So when you see the custom accent walls, when you see this, like any like really detailed job that's not just a simple repaint, I try to use this one crew, and they knocked it out of the park. But if you know about window glazing, or maybe the craftsmen that are listening to this will appreciate this. It is a very particular thing you have to do.
Yeah.
And if you don't follow the process like perfectly, you're going to get messed up. And also you have to use like good products, because they sell like glazing and whatnot over at Home Depot, but it is not good. So
if you don't mind me asking, what did you guys use?
we used something called Arthur's window glazing. It's like a smaller company, but really good. The thing reason why we use them is you can apply while the window is on the house. So
Okay, that's good.
yeah, a lot of times you have to like take them off and then redo them. You have to swap the panes. This was easy to use. Anyway, I don't want to get too far into this, but
hey, but you never know. Someone might be listening saying, I've not gotten into glazing, or I don't want to deal with it because of whatever, right? I know a lot of guys fear that. We've only done a few projects like that my whole time out here in San Diego, but it's like, that's always good to know that you guys can do it. And you're right. Like, you don't have to take the window off. If there's a product like that, it's even better, right?
Yeah, worked out perfect. And maybe this is a good thing, right? Because the kind of process too is actually interesting, because I know a lot of people, they try and like fake it till they make it, right? It's like they go in and somebody says, have you ever done this before? And they know it's a big opportunity, and they're like, oh yeah, we've done this before. You know what I mean? For me, I was very candid with this guy because he was a referral, so we're already a little warmer. I was just like, hey, like my background is Philadelphia, you know, older houses and stuff. We've come across similar things. I know the process, but I personally haven't done a job. But my guys, I mean, I showed them some of the pictures. I was like, if there's an instructional video, like we can figure it out. And then I'm just saying like, all right, like let's do it. And he got a good deal because I kind of underbid a little bit. But he was like, I think when he saw the price, he was like, let's do it. It was one of those, you know?
Yeah,
That's okay. We learned a lot, and thanks to our sponsor DripJobs, we're still around that 50% gross margin mark with the job costing feature. So if you're not job costing, you think it's a big loss until you look at the numbers, and you're like, oh shit, DripJobs, my CRM, allows me to actually see how much I used on materials, labor, and what I made out of this thing. So we were right around 50%. So I'm not mad at that, but the guys are definitely beat up a little bit. It's funny.
He jumped on you real quick. Yeah, the nice part about Drip is obviously being to see that. I'm actually going to have a recording for DripJobs on how to use job costing now. So like a lot of people are slipping on that game, right? Using the QuickBooks and everything else. So yeah, shout out to Drip. They're going to be giving you guys nice and organized. And just like Aiden said, the guy was super happy.
Yeah. If you guys want a 60-day trial with DripJobs, you know, PATH60, use our coupon code, promo code, PATH Path 60 days free. Can't beat that. So we're in series volume 2, series 2
Yep.
of the Painting Business CEO series, and I just covered work-life balance. If you tuned in, and we got Joel in here, and we're going to be covering office. And I know he has
Yeah.
some awesome stuff he's going to bring to the table. I do as well. So this should be a really good, informative one. If you're driving, you probably won't be able to take notes, but make sure you listen in because we're going to be dropping some gems for you. I guess we just covered the first thing, right? The software stack,
Yeah.
right? Like you need to have not only a CRM like DripJobs to kind of house all of your kind of everyday tasks, but the software you use is like the headquarters of your business, right? It is
Yeah.
how your office person and just your office overall has access to what's going on, right? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I didn't realize how important it was when I first got into painting. I was using a different CRM at the time, and it didn't have automations. It didn't do text messaging. It did send emails, right? But we didn't have the text platform. This is 7 years ago, right? Mind you. Um, so when we were first using that, I had these headaches, right? Like this just freaking headache of, all right, now we got to follow up even more. And what does that follow up system look like 7 years ago, of course? And what people don't realize with the CRM, especially you guys that are like doing maybe 20K a month, right? I'm speaking to you guys. It's still valuable. Even if
Yeah.
you're doing 10K a month, 5K a month, doesn't matter. Like you just heard what Aiden said, like 60 days free, right? Like if you're not even selling anything, you just started, whatever it is, get yourself to CRM. You got 60 days free from us. But the most important part is this. You have to understand when you see what a CRM can do for your business, how it logs, how you can start looking at your pipelines, right? Because some people will be like, oh, I haven't followed up with anyone. They don't have a follow-up system, which we call callbacks, right? It's like, what do you mean? Like, you're losing so many opportunities. They're not doing any tracking of any metrics. Like the CRM just simplifies your life so much
Yeah.
so that you know where to look, exactly how you're performing. It tells you the story where you don't have to keep second guessing and going, well, I don't know. I think it's my leads. And then usually when you look at the metrics, you're like, well, it doesn't seem like a lead problem. It looks like a set rate problem. Like there's so many valuable things that CRM provides. So that was game changer for me when we were able to switch out of that one dimension CRM when we first started and now be able to have all these options now. So
Yeah.
I don't know when you got into painting, I'm sure the CRM industry was a little bit better still before mine. What did that look like for you, right? Like when you first started in your painting career?
Yeah. So like you said, right? Like you can get so much data with the CRM, and the cool thing is the one we recommend, DripJobs, is paint specific, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
I think that's really important, right? You have to
Mhm.
figure out not only what like does it help you do what you do, right? If you're epoxy floors, if you're coating based, you pretty much are good with a really good paint specific CRM. Once you get into the all purpose ones, right? Like I used all purpose ones before where it's like, you could just put line items for the pricing and whatnot, and it's not
Mhm.
like super built out for you. It can be hard to set up and kind of just hard to get everything customized, right? Which I think
Yeah.
is important. For us, I had a general CRM and then I had a painting estimating kind of like sandbox software where I would
Mhm.
go in, still same thing, take my measurements and whatnot, and it would spit me out something. And then I was re-entering everything into the CRM that I was using just by line items, and that was kind of annoying. So having everything in one place, super efficient, and just makes sense, obviously. And I also like the fact that you can have the automation set up and
Yeah.
it does a lot of the hard work for you, right? Nobody wants to be calling guys, hey, reminder for your quote or invoice or review. Like I want all that to be automated, get all my time
Yeah.
back. All that time of me tracking down the person, looking up, making sure I'm the right guy, looking at the last conversation, where they're at in our pipeline. And that can all be saved once you use your CRM properly. And I think that's another thing. So many guys that I work with, I know that you work with as well, don't have the CRM built out or being used to even
Correct.
half its capability. So you go in, you're like, dude, you could be either saving so much more time, landing so many more deals, looking way more professional and building out an organization, but you don't even have like the bare bones set up. So that's kind of like something that I see all the time.
No, you're absolutely right. I didn't even think about that too. Even even having the CRM, but utilizing it to its full capacity. I'm still unlocking things for me now. I'm like, dude, I could do this. Like, what do you mean? Like, I bought back all this time. So it's super important, right? Like, I still use some of my Google Sheets,
Mhm.
and we even automate to certain Google Sheets, right? So when the job hits, boom, it goes right to the Google Sheet. It's automated. Like, there's so many tools right now to make our lives simpler, even if we don't have a front office. Like, think about that. Like, if you don't have an admin yet and you're still needing something to help you, the CRM, again, we cannot repeat this over and over again, how it will help you at least in
Yeah.
the meantime till you can start leveling up to that office admin. And then you can start getting your sales rep. Then you can start getting your production manager. It is literally the foundation, I think.
It's building the foundation, literally,
Yep.
like you just said, right? You can stack on top of that. Now the organization is clean. We can see the numbers. We can hold people accountable, right? All of that is super important. And then, yeah, let's talk about the automations a little bit. One of the
Mhm.
other software we use is Company Cam, and
Yep.
that starts honestly before I even get out there because we have an automation set up through Zapier, and we're getting a little technical now, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
basically we take DripJobs, we set up a Zapier automation that as soon as a job, or I'm sorry, an appointment is scheduled in DripJobs, a
Yep.
company cam profile is created,
Yep.
basically saying, hey, this person's name, this person's address, we're ready for photos. So I show up and it just saves me like a couple minutes of just, time I could spend with the client and
Yep.
close more deals and feel like I don't have to set up everything, from scratch. Right.
Love that.
So that, and then that all goes all the way through because I'm setting my guys up with a dummy proof to work order now. They have the
Yep.
photos with notes. I'm a lot of times adding text to make sure they know exactly what is to be done. And then now I wrote the story and talked to the client once. I don't have to reach out to them again, right? I don't have to figure out how do I get this information over to my crews to set them up for success. Everything is done with the power of the CRM plus the project management software with Company Cam, and it's like you can't mess it up after that.
Yeah, it's so easy, dude. I love that
Yeah.
you said that. Well, I mean, obviously, we're due to the timing of our pod, right? There's
Right.
so many, like, what people don't realize, right, is, Pettis and I, we created a program for automations
Yeah.
and utilizing our office. Like you said, we have that where it goes in right in the Slack channel, right from your Slack
Wow.
channel. Now you have a profile for every single new client. And now you could see the history
Mm-hmm.
on Slack channel. So anytime your team's talking about that specific profile, we're all talking about that customer underneath that Slack channel, all communicated from start to finish.
Yeah.
And then we've automated our PTA form. So that's our prior to arrival form we created,
Mm-hmm.
right? Shout out to my wife. She created that because of COVID.
Yeah.
So now we know all these questions before we walk in, like sheens, colors, all that stuff. And we can send it and we can automate our orders to the store. Like, guys, you're slipping if you're not getting into the train of automations. Like, literally,
Yeah.
we created it where you can actually do a lead form, like kind of like your lead form that you guys get. We created a production order form for the job where you literally click the label from DripJobs. You click on the label, boom, it sends it to the store. The store gets the order, and boom, it's in Slack channel. Done.
We're
Confirmed.
not even linking
Everything's
in
ready.
apps anymore. We're linking in stores.
100%. You could actually go location too and
Wow.
literally go, I want to go to this Sherman location. I mean, it takes time to build that all out, right?
Right.
But that is how much technology has advanced so much that 7 years ago, I could never imagine. These were all my headaches.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of my headaches are no longer a headache. It's
Yeah.
now a lack of education, which is like my brain now goes like this. Can I do this? The answer is yes, by the way. Like, we live in a world right now that I go, can I have this figured out? And it's just like, where do I go to get that information to make my life easier, implement it, and then move on to the next thing? So that's like, technology right now is stupid. Like, it's super awesome to win even more than we're winning now. It's wild, guys. It is
It's
wild,
scary too. Now that you have a little bit more time, you're just gonna be building that out even more.
bro. The SOPs
That's
I've built
crazy,
has been crazy. I
man.
you would think, oh, Joel took this from his company and now implemented it. No, it took it from my brain and now
Right.
I'm putting it into paper and like actual processes
Here's
now.
here's the thing too, right? Like I know a
Yeah.
lot of guys, they're probably thinking like, oh, when I work with a Joel, right? Like, what am I getting, right? I mean, you have your, pitch or whatever that is, but it's like at the end of the day, people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for franchises to set this stuff up for them.
Yes.
And you have it all built out, custom for your guys. You know what works, what
Yeah.
wins, what is worth it to put in the company, right? You don't. This stuff isn't just for show, right? We
Correct.
just walk through exactly why it matters, and we
Mhm.
do things because we know it helps the companies we work with, right?
100%.
We're like, oh shit, these guys are dealing with this. Let's set something like this up just to make everybody's life that much easier.
Yeah.
Slack is the next level of it too, right?
Yeah.
That communication, I would say less than 1% of painting companies are doing something like that.
Dude, it gets even nitty gritty. Once I launch it, I'm going to break the news out here on the pod, but I'm going to make it easy for everyone, like even easier than it is. We have a client right now, which is going to be one of the coaches for us.
Yeah.
He's going to be coaching production in our program, but he's the only one I know that's using it from start to finish. And it's just the way I'm like, God, it almost makes me want to open another paint. Like literally when I get on calls with him,
Mhm.
I'm like, dude, like where was all of this when I was running a painting company? Now I'm like, I want to open another one now. I'm just like, oh,
There's
like
levels.
that it just makes your life so much easier. You could
Mhm.
see no more pain with these
100%.
solutions. Yeah, man.
And let's talk about too, right? The actual person that's supposed to be heading it, right?
Mm,
The office,
mm,
the admin. So, a lot of guys right now, they're doing all of the calls, answering the phones, follow-ups, pretty much everything by themselves.
yep.
How much is that handicapping them in their business?
Oh gosh, I mean, here's the thing. I see it in the industry. Let's just call it easy. Let's call it simple, right? Let's just call it $25 an hour. People are like, "How much do you pay your admin person?" I'm like, it doesn't really matter how much
Mhm.
I pay them. What are you willing to pay for a good person, and how much money are you making back for the income that you're spending? So let's just call it 25. It's an easy number, $1,000 a week. Are you telling me you're not willing to spend $1,000 a week to have someone organize your leads, schedule your appointments, literally do whatever you need? Like my team, before obviously me leaving, is my team, the receptionist, by the way, she does my QuickBooks. Okay, so the moment a purchase order comes in, she does my QuickBooks, she does my job costing, she answers all of our calls, she does the estimating, she does all the payments.
I kind of
Like
want to like Stone Cold Steve Austin. What? What?
they're like,
What?
come on, right? Like, but think about that. Would you pay $1,000 for that a week to make 10, 15, 20, maybe 100,000 in a week? Guys
100%.
don't look at it that way though. They look at it as it's costing me $1,000.
I'll give you one to go alongside that too.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the amount of calls you're being missed, not being followed up on, right?
Facts.
Now you're getting a bad review because the communication isn't there. You aren't able to be the, accountable business owner that your business requires, especially to grow,
Mm-hmm.
right? You get to have somebody have your back, hold down the fort, right? And not only are they going to make you more money because you're going to set more appointments, but it's just going to make the process of owning the business that much easier. So you can focus on the highest level task. I know we talk about that a lot, but
Yeah.
it's so crucial to have somebody on the front end be the initial voice for the company and kind of be like your defense, right? Like, hey, don't let anybody in my orbit unless they're the real deal and they're worth it for us, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you say that too, because here's the other cool part. I've been, I pay attention, right? Like, and I hear what their excuses they make.
Mm-hmm.
So, how cool is this now, right? You've got your office who can take some of this stress off of you. And then you go, hey, I need to train a new sales guy. And they go, what's the process that I need? Well, don't you think you just bought back more time so that you can focus on these other high level things? And then when they come to you, right? Like, obviously we always push people for production rates to you. Like, do I know how to do it? Yeah, I know how to do it. Do I want to? No, I don't. I don't like that. Aiden has figured out the formula that makes it easy. He's done it over and over, time and time again. No different than me as a coach. I'm always like, go to Aiden, man. Go see him for production rates. He will make your life easy. It's quite simple. Once your process is done, boom, done. Who cares how much it costs do it. And guys, I'm not doing this because we're coaches. I'm trying to get in your mindset that the longer you keep thinking about making a decision to put a process in your business that's going to make you more money, guaranteed. And I guarantee it because the process, once you do it, now it's easier to train it. Now it's easier for you to get out of the seat. Now it's easy for your sales rep to walk in that position and be set up for success. Whatever that number is, I promise you it'll 2x, at least 2x within the first 2 weeks. Like
100%.
that's the thing with these systems and processes. You guys have to pull the trigger quicker on learning it. I mean, gosh, you could Google it. Like, I'm not even telling you to buy anything right now. I'm telling you, go Google it, go chat GPT it. Half this stuff is so easy to just do and execute. But if you don't have the time, then hire someone to do it. No different than an office admin. Like, as you can tell, I'm very passionate right now because, like, dude, I've been doing discovery calls. It's like all new contractors. I'm not used to this mindset lately. And when they get on a call with me, they're like, "Oh man, I'm struggling." I'm like, "You're struggling because you still haven't made a choice. You still haven't made a decision. Make a decision."
Mm-hmm.
And I promise you'll see faster return.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. My admin, she wants to do sales right now. She's
Nice.
like, I could do virtual quotes for the small stuff. You know, we already have the rates built out. I kind of have an idea. I messed around with it, and I'm kind of like, I'm scratching my head, like, we're not there yet, but I like what she's exactly right. And the crazy thing is, I know guys that use their admin in that way, that kind of use them not as an admin, more of like inside sales. And I think that's actually starting to get more popular, where you got these hybrid admins that just understand the processes and the company so in depth, they're able to give quotes over the phone, you know, in certain situations that are time crunches, right? We all run into them. I'm moving in, I can't be there, but I need the price. They can kind of assist in that way if I'm busy or if the owner is like really tied up. And I think that's kind of like the next level. And I know that we're going to be focusing on that a little bit just to further train these admins, right? Because what is it really for them to just have more knowledge, to be able to speak in a way that, sure, like you're not selling in the full experience, but maybe it's one of those things that they want to move quick and they want to price right away that they can help out with. And
I love that. Here's the thing. We've never really talked about this, I don't think, on our pod. I do hybrid training. I want everyone to know everyone's position, even if it's not their position. Because, like, think about it. If someone's on a call with an admin and she knows your sales process, she knows exactly, you know, how you do your production rates. And it's like, hey, you know, I just need a rough estimate. Okay, well, you know, let me save Aiden some time. Let me just blow this out real quick. And then literally in the agreement, put this is a rough estimate. Pricing variations may apply due to not being at job site, yada, 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 yada. Our next steps and expectations would recommend you seeing our estimator. Boom, done.
Yeah.
Like,
could work.
I love that, dude.
Could work. And think about it too, right? Like, for any of the bigger organizations out there, you're bringing on sales reps. Imagine having an admin that's going to be that blanket of kind of like safety for them, right? Mm-hmm. That maybe they can follow up with the deal, right, in a certain way that makes the homeowner a little bit more comfortable, right? Or I just feel like there's so many ways that they can come in and make some plays like that, you know?
Yeah. I love it, dude.
I think there's something there. We're going to explore it a little bit more. Let's talk about the numbers and metrics, because I think this is a lot of what we uncover whenever we do like our discovery and really dive into somebody's business. It's like we start asking them simple questions. Hey, what's your close ratio? And they just go, not really sure. I'm like, okay. What is your average job size roughly? And they're like, I couldn't even tell you. So when you have this data at your disposal and you really judge what you do from it, it makes it that much easier to kind of diagnose what's wrong.
Yeah.
And I think whenever you have the mindset of, hey, my next bottleneck is my most important one, the one I'm facing currently, I need to get through that before I can get to anything else in the business. I think we discover that the numbers and just even getting comfortable with the numbers is one of the most important bottlenecks before even getting and diagnosing the numbers.
Yeah, 100%. It tells you a story, right? And I think what a lot of people fear is looking at the numbers, because then they know that the truth gets uncovered. And it's almost like a subconscious thing that happens. Like, we don't ignore it on purpose, but we ignore it knowing that, oh man, I think it's my marketing. And then I look at the leads and it's like, dude, you got 30 leads in 2 days. Then you start to go, oh, I got a training issue right now in the office. It's like knowing that data and then hitting that, like that gut feeling of like, man, it might be my admin.
Yeah.
Or it might be me. What if I don't have an admin? I'm too scared to look in the mirror to be like, man, I'm just not doing a great job servicing my customers.
Yeah.
That's a hard pill to swallow for someone, right? And here's the cool part, though. When you swallow that pill quickly, you get the answer, you get better results. It's just that
going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Action plus urgency is just everything in business.
100%.
Because even if you don't get it 100% perfect, you learn, you adjust, you refine, and you continue to push forward, right?
Yep.
The people that make action happen are going to get some results that keep them afloat, right?
Yep.
It's the people that delay it, that run into that, I should have done it. Man, I should have just pulled the trigger, right? You hear it all the time.
All the time, man.
Yeah.
All the time.
And I always tell people, your metrics are like the OBD reader for your car. If you plug that in, it'll diagnose and say, hey, this is what's wrong. And you get to go in and get a professional to help you, right? And fix it. So let's just say your sales are a little bit down, right? Hey, I'm closing 20% the last 2 months, something like that. Like we're staying afloat, but man, if I could double that close ratio, the business would essentially be doubled, right?
Yeah.
Simple as that. My guys would never have to worry about work, and I can just continue to focus on building out the organization rather than keep my guys afloat. Well, what can we do, right? This is kind of like the simple advice that we can give somebody is like sales seminar, right? Reach out to people in the industry that you know and respect, right? And just ask them questions. I'm sure they're going to be open with some of the 100%. Stuff they do in their sales processes, right? YouTube University, free 99, right?
Yeah, man.
As long as you keep it similar to, hey, it's home service, it's sales specific, and then test. Hey, let me do 10 appointments in this, what I just learned, and see what happens.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So now you have a sample size decent enough. How many did I close? Does it feel good? Am I getting a good response? And you can try something else if it's not working. Okay, another 10. And then you diagnose something else. And it's just it's a continuous refinement. I've been really harping on this with my group lately is like continuous refinement, right? Because even when I started my painting business out here, I didn't have everything set up, but I went through and said, hey, this market requires this, right? I need to do this certain stuff in order to make it work. And I just kept getting better.
I love that. You notice what you said, though? You're like, hey, I didn't have all this stuff at first. Like, I think that's also the crutch for people is that they want to perfect the processes. Dude, the fact that I'm still building processes right now should tell you something. Like, I'm constantly pivoting. You're constantly pivoting. You like what you're doing today. I'm sure you didn't do the same thing last year, and you probably saw some holes. You're like, how do I fill it? Right? Like, I think that's the difference between a successful company, not even just painting, but just any company. You're constantly pivoting. If you think that it's just set and done, that's it. I think that's where we lose too, because the complacency comes in now. And now we start to go, well, I'm pretty solid. I'm pretty good. Well, dude, like, you're going to lose real quick by staying in that mentality. You got to keep pivoting. And then like, what's really cool, what you said, the 10 jobs, right? Okay, well, if I need to close more, just focus on that, dude. Like, don't worry about anything else. Like, stay highly focused. If you're talking about your closing ratio, just focus on that. Don't worry about your set rate, closing, average job size. Focus on your closing ratio. What can I do this week? What can I focus this week alone? If it's your closing ratio, here's the cool part. If you're only focused on the closing ratio this week, you're guaranteed great results anyways, because now you closed 1 or 2 more jobs this week, no matter what your schedule dictated. That's 1 to 2 more jobs you closed than you did last week and the week before that. And then it compounds the following week. If you're focused on the closing ratio for 30 days, watch what happens. And then you go, all right, I fine-tuned it, just like you said, refining. And then you focus on the set rate. Then you combine those two, just like you said, a stack on the CRM. Well, guess what? Now you got more scheduled and you refined your sales process. Dude, watch what happens to your business. It's crazy. Crazy. You're getting me excited, Aiden. You got me. I love talking these numbers.
we're honestly, we got so much more to cover in this series alone. Like, you should see the list we have of just topics. So I'm excited to kind of get into all the nitty gritty, right? Like, no more no more, but it's less on the fly and more very intentional, kind of like we're doing right now. I
100%.
think that's going to be able to give our guys that much more value, right? And the people that
I
are
couldn't
listening,
agree.
because they can take and say, wow, I am struggling with that. Let me take that, run with that advice, and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
It's like we get
Just
to
let
prove
us
our
know.
stuff live. Yeah.
Hit us up in the DMs. Let us know how it worked for you. We like to know how things are working from the pod, man. Like, don't
100%.
be shy, guys. Let us know.
Dude, how do you know if you can get, like, how do you find a killer admin? What do you look for? What is you're big into hiring right now. So
Yeah.
what is like your main, okay, if I see these one or two things, I know this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, I know it sounds wild. I just had a client ask me this last week. When it comes to an admin, I have an interview form that I actually created based off of personality.
Okay.
I could care less about if they know how to use an Excel sheet or not. I know it's a little different perspective. The first thing is, are they going to be on the phone? If they're on the phone, they better have a voice that makes you just want to stay on the call. That's the first, like, I've never changed that about me. I don't care what other skill sets they have. If their voice is
Yeah.
captivating over the phone for a customer, it's soothing, it's exciting, the tonality makes them stay on the call. That's the first thing I do on an interview. I want to, like, I close my eyes almost on the interview and I go, can I imagine my sale process with this customer and how I feel right now? And if the answer is like, man, I'm feeling great about this tonality, that's number one. Number two for admin for me is, can they figure things out on their own? So I ask very strategic questions on, hey, tell me a time that you went through this situation, what happened, and how did you handle it? Right. And one of my clients, she just told me just the other day in an interview, literally in the application, the admin person that's actually interviewing for her said, hey, I can't find the link. She already disqualified her that way. And I was like, beautiful.
That's true.
Because guess what? If they can't even find a link that is right in their face, do you want that individual as an admin already? So even before they got in the interview, the person said, I can't find a link. That's already an issue. It's a red flag in our world, right? So that's the second one that I'm paying attention to as a pre-qualification, that they disqualify themselves by a question that they can't figure out. I can't hire an admin that can't think for themselves, because that's why I need you there, is to pick up the pieces for me that I don't have time to pay attention to. You got to be able to figure that out. So I'll strategically do things on purpose to see, are you a thinker of your own before you come to me? That's extremely important, actually, in all positions, but admin specifically right now, that's important. And then I would say the third thing would be is, how quick and witty are they? I like someone that can think off their feet very quickly and just be like, because I'll ask you some hard questions. And if they're like umming and eyeing and they're feeling uncomfortable, what do you think is going to happen when a contractor gets on a call? Well, not a contractor, but a homeowner that just has a lot of questions, and they're asking questions you don't know about yet because you haven't learned what a fascia is or whatever. How do you respond to that? So I'll like role play with them. Hey, let's do a call right now. What would you do if I was like, yeah, I want to get my whole exterior painted. I want to do fascias, soffits, and the whole nines. I want to hear how they respond. I don't care if they BS me, but if they're responding quickly and I know I can teach them on that, man, what a great character to have, right? So that's important for me.
I totally
so those
agree.
are my top three.
Yeah, having that initiative, somebody who can think on the fly, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's so important. I'll even give you an example of that. So recently we did some creative marketing and a little bit colder leads, right? These were leads that, like, they're not just going to be up and ready to go. So it was important for her to kind of push through, right? So they were like, how did you get my info? Like, kind of throwing her some pretty big curveballs, right? How do you respond to that? How do you, especially in today's day and age, right? And she's like, oh, well, we just reach out to local homeowners when they're in the area, blah, blah, blah. And she was just going right through it, on to the next. So tell me about what you're looking to get done. And I was like, yes, we are in. And then, of course, we have some questions we do to make sure they're a good fit and all. But it was just so important for me to hear that, right? This is another tech stack shout out, right? We use Quo or Open Phone.
Oh yeah.
right? Any virtual type phone, because we have a overseas admin, would work. And man, just hearing these recordings, and I'm like, yes, she's getting us in the door. She's pushing through. She understands her job, right?
Yeah.
And when you get somebody that's unsure, like you said, now it's like they're feeling uncomfortable on the other side, and it's a bad experience overall. But
Facts.
she showed to me right then and there, like, all right, cool, this is gonna work. So I love that, having that role play, doing that little bit more discovery on the front end, putting them in some weird situations can really help you out a lot on the back
Facts.
end.
Facts.
Another thing I would say is, I think nowadays anybody we hire, as far as like administrative office, computers, they got to be good with AI, right? They got to be good with ChatGPT,
Yeah.
Claude, all these things nowadays. Because what if the client's on the border of using us and they're trying to get like a color rendering or something? I want
Yeah.
her to quickly go on company cam. Hey, yeah, I'll pull your exterior right now. What colors are you thinking? Boom, and get that over to them. And now we're the big separator because we were on it,
Mm-hmm.
what we were doing, and we offered something that maybe these other companies aren't offering. And it's like the full customer experience.
I love that you said that. Um, what people aren't even paying attention to is something like that, so simple to do the rendering and not waiting for the estimator to do that. What a game changer, right? Game changer. Like
100%.
that's wow. But you're right. It shocks me how many people aren't even using AI either right now. It's like there's just so many tools out there to help anybody.
I love giving
Don't
my admin weird tasks. I'll be like, hey, I want to do an email blast to property managers. There's a couple I've been thinking about. Here are some names. Could you maybe do your own research and send a blast out?
yeah,
See what happens.
yeah.
I'm
I
telling
love
you, man.
that too.
Like they will make it work. Chat GPT, giving them a prompt, you're in, done.
Yeah, yeah. I love that, dude. Here's the cool part is as you keep seeing that though, listen to the opportunity. I kind of want to go back to what you said. And this is the leadership in you, right? And the cool part is, guys, pay attention to what Aiden said. He said his admin now wants to sell. That didn't happen by mistake. That your admin seeing your processes and they're seeing the results of the processes, which allows them to come to you for opportunity. So I just want to highlight that, man, because like we live in a world that people won't even highlight when you're doing something right and you don't even realize you're doing these right things. It takes a third party to come out and say it. So I want to acknowledge that. That says a lot about your leadership and it also says a lot about your processes. So those of you that are listening, also pay attention to that within your organization. That is a skill transfer of your process systems. It says something
Right.
about your leadership. Do not ignore that. Because if your team's coming to you about something, it's almost complementing your systems. Don't
Yep.
ignore that. Like that's a highlight you
Yeah.
have to pay attention to. So wanted to shout that out real quick.
Didn't think of it that way. It's
Yeah.
interesting. But I guess it comes from like having this stuff allows you to be so much more creative with helping your people out, right?
Yeah.
Like there's an
Yeah.
opportunity there. There is something there to where we could have some type of commission structure, right? For
Yeah.
her. If she's really pulling her weight and helping the company out, she can create her own income within the company. And that might not be possible for a lot of guys that don't have even half of this stuff set up.
Right.
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 Which I think like that even can stunt somebody's leadership if they don't know the numbers, but they got a production manager, they got a team of supervisors, and they're out there and they can't hold people accountable and have numbers based conversations. What does that say about you as an organization? And your team might
Yeah.
not even think that's a thing because you never brought it up. Right.
Yeah.
And then maybe they go for this other company or somebody comes into the organization and they're kind of questioning things and seeing it from a different light. And right away, they're like, wow, that's the guy. Right. They just
Yes.
opened up a whole can of worms that wasn't there before.
I love that. I love that.
See it all
100%.
the time. You
100%.
start thinking about the numbers and overall seeing our companies as organizations. It's been a big thing for me ever since I started. Right. I go out and I look and I say, perception is reality. Right. If you don't have your shit together when it comes to the approach, the presentation, just doing these things that we're talking about alone will raise your price.
Yeah.
Hey, Aiden, you were
100%.
the most professional, man. We went with you because we just liked how polished the experience and everything was. So you're a little bit higher, but we want to go with a reputable company. You hear
100%.
that all the time with the guys that actually set all this up. And then when they crack it and that code and they can get those higher prices, then you get the guys that are opening new locations. Then you get the guys that have real leadership teams and are carrying the baton. Yeah.
Keep cooking, dude. You're saying all the right
That's
things,
really
man.
it,
I
though,
love it.
right? It's man, I really believe there's standards that need to be upheld, especially in like our industry, right? Like we
Mhm.
are. How many times do you hear about, oh, the painter, anybody can paint, oh, anybody can come in and slap some paint on a wall, guys?
Yeah.
Not even the craftsman side of it. I don't even care about that for right now. I'm just
Mhm.
talking about the presentation, how we hold ourselves as far as our standard and our perception, and then how do we stand on business when we're there?
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yep.
we can't be just discounting our prices when we're investing in our organization with all these things to separate ourselves, and then we're
Correct.
discounting ourselves. It's
Correct.
tough.
Well, I like that you're mentioning that too. It's dude, it's crazy. I just saw this on Instagram. Do you follow Eric Klein?
I heard of
He's
them.
like big in the wholesaling space, and he actually talked about a horrible experience today or 4 days ago. I can't remember. It popped up on my feed today, but
Mm.
a horrible experience he had with a GC. He spent $900,000 with this GC already, and the guy went broke, and he's not able to finish his job because he
Mm.
wasn't allocating his money properly to his subs. So he went online and started talking about his experience with this GC. And it just infuriated me when I watched that. I was like, listen, dude, like, this is why you and I are big about that in our space. It's like, do the right thing,
Yeah.
be professional, get it done, and stop doing half ass shit. Like, it makes us all look bad. If you're listening right now and you're a half asser, let me tell you something. Here's the biggest thing: it is going to ruin your reputation, and it's going to make you hurt your family. And if that's not enough to stick for you to change your behaviors and make a decision to do better things with your business, I'm telling you today, you will get outworked and you're going to lose. And I don't want you to lose. Neither does Aiden. That's why we
Mhm.
do this podcast. We're trying to give you free knowledge. Please take pride in what you do. If you can't afford these CRMs and all these other things and whatever else, that's okay. But at least what you can afford is your reputation, is by doing the right thing. And that triggered me when you said that about the contracting side, because it's important, guys. We set the tone. Let's stop, right? And stop trying to chase the money. It'll come. I promise you that, if you do the right thing. So
Oh yeah.
I had to put my 2 cents in that real quick. Sorry.
That's crazy though, right? Because
Yeah, man.
for every one of those stories that comes to fruition and that we know about,
Mhm.
about 100 more, 1,000 more,
Mhm.
right? So, man, it is tough, and that's why it's important to have people that actually, bring some level of respect to what we do and whatnot.
Yeah. Yep.
Because,
Yep.
man, the more that we show that and that we inspire guys as they're building their business, right, from day one, so they don't have to kind of go back and tear it back down, right? Because you
Yeah.
hear that too. Oh, I fired everybody because it just wasn't set up properly, right? Like that was me. Man, I
Mm.
went through it and I said, look, not that I was doing anything that shouldn't have been done as far as like morally, but I just didn't have a great culture or anything like that. So the respect wasn't there. And then it was translating to the jobs and it was kind of just a trickle down effect. And
Yeah.
I just said it wasn't worth it. Right. So hit the
Yeah, man.
reset button, build back better. Some of us have to do that and have to go through that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I love it.
really look at your organization and think of like, what are we doing to set ourselves apart? Because once you do that, you attract the right clientele, the people that
Always.
actually appreciate that. Then you're going
Always.
to try and display that messaging in your marketing. And that gives you a level of, hey, we just don't paint. You're getting all these other things that are invaluable, right? On time, done the first time, on budget, not in budget, on budget, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you do these other things really well, nobody will ever tell you, hey, I paid too much working with you.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Just start to look at things a little bit differently. And yeah. So last thing I want to cover when it comes to the office is in-house versus virtual assistant.
Yeah. Here's the cool part. I know you have VAs and
Yeah.
I don't. So that's the cool part is I think people are going to get two different perspectives today. I can't talk much about the VA side because I don't have any. I've never had a VA. So I'm going to talk about the in-person side.
Mhm.
The value that I see in person for me is the coaching side of it, on the face-to-face aspect, when I had an office. Because technically, when I went remote, it's almost like having a VA, right?
Yeah.
So I really, at this point now, can say it really doesn't make a difference, because if I were to rebuild another business, if I don't have a building to have everyone come
I
to,
think that's it, right?
it really doesn't make a difference. And I've learned that, obviously, over the first setup. I think it was easier for me to coach, I think, like the face to face and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's like, when you really think about it, what's different now that I don't have an office? I would coach them on a call like this, right? So is it any different?
Dude,
I don't know.
it's so funny because if you asked this question maybe 5 years ago, would have had a different response,
Completely
right?
different response. Yep.
It's like before, how to build a paying business. Get some guys, get some vans, get a shop, get a
Yep.
person, answering the phone, get a little sign. That's not a thing anymore. I mean,
No.
brick and mortar is just not even, yeah, there's great neighborhoods where that's important.
Yeah.
And if you have an established organization, great culture in person, and you already kind of have it built out, yeah, that's a great way to go. But it's not
Mhm.
required anymore, right?
Correct.
Like there's a case study I go over when I talk to people about our coaching and whatnot and what is possible. And one of the guys, first year, $1 million business, 30+% net profit. And it's because we went really lean on the business model. We
Hmm.
said, we're going to get you a virtual assistant. You're not going to have a shop. All your guys are going to provide their own tools and their
Yes.
vans and trucks. And that is something that a lot of guys, they're kicking themselves because they didn't do that initially.
Dude,
Right.
it's crazy how often I hear people are like, "Oh, I just bought another van." They just started. They're like, "Oh, I bought like 3 vans." I was like, dude, I didn't start buying vans till like 3 years later. I mean, everybody, they had their own equipment, their own vehicles, period.
Mhm.
Like, how do you grow a business if you're not made of money, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
For sure.
you could just be like, "Yep, I just bought all this stuff right now." Like, get that perception out of your mind. I know you're going there. So I had to make that in there because it blows my mind when people are like, "Oh, you don't provide equipment." I'm like, "Absolutely not. I don't provide equipment." So continue. Sorry,
No,
it got me pumped
you're
up.
so right though, right? Like you don't have to do that anymore.
No,
It's okay to, don't get me wrong, if you have a
right.
great already kind of organization and these guys are dialed in, you're premium priced and you can afford that,
Yes,
shit, by all means, like go crazy. But
yeah,
nowadays, I mean, you can still have a lot of that culture, right? Like, I mean, think about Caesar, right? Like this guy always
yeah.
with his guys, going out to restaurants with them, holidays, like you name it. And it's because he did it in a way that worked for him and his family and whatnot. And
Hmm.
it still works. He still has a great business.
Yeah,
So there's so many guys like that where they don't have to spend all this money and have all this administrative, fees and whatnot that really, man, it just gets in the way from scaling. When
I
you
think
can
it's
be profitable, I got you, right?
you know what I mean. It's the perception of such, and then trying to find out the information. Then they start to learn that you don't need it. They're like, "Oh man, I kind of
Yeah.
made a bad decision."
Dude, great call. You know why? Because when I talk to people about subs, which we'll cover in another one,
Hmm.
um, it's always the pushback of like, I want to create that in person thing. And I'm like, okay, well, we can do this fast and efficient. Well, we can do this slow and kind of like uphill, right?
Yes,
So
yeah,
I'd love a hybrid model where we can go maybe a couple guys in house and then really get some profitability, pay for that marketing every month with another crew. Um, really start to open your mind on this kind of stuff, guys, because once you start to look at it through a different lens, you look at it like we just broke it down on the number side of things, right?
yeah.
It's not just about ego,
Mm-mm. Trust me, man. It ain't gonna pay the bills.
unfortunately,
Yeah, yeah.
especially with workers' comp nowadays. Oh my gosh. Don't get me started,
So yeah, just don't move to California. I'll tell you that. That's all.
right?
Jeez.
Cool. We covered a lot. Any last notes, words, office?
I think we hit a lot today, which is awesome. I love that we're doing this series. It's very intentional. So, guys, if you have an idea, a thought that maybe you're struggling with, it gives Aiden and I so many ideas to just give you the game on the pod, right? So let us know. We're going to be really diligent about that. Let us know. We want your opinions. We want to know what you're going through and how we can help you guys. So that's really my biggest thing, I would say.
Yeah.
That's what I would go off of right now.
Yeah, and last thing I would say too is, one of the easiest ways to not only professionalize the business but get your time back is, number one, the CRM, but number two, get an admin, right? Virtual assistant will
Yes.
cost you between 10 and 12 bucks an hour for a really expensive one overseas, and it's going to save you so much more time and land you a lot more deals because you'll get more opportunities. So
Yes.
take action on that at least.
Love it.
That's what I would say. But all right, guys, we will see you on the next one.
Let's get it.